As a quarterback, understanding pass protection and how to get your numbers right when you're in the pocket is important to staying healthy and completing more passes. Today, we're talking about the half slide coming up right now. Hey everybody, welcome to Elite Athletes TV. I'm Mike Pulaski, former 11-year pro quarterback and world champion, also quarterbacks coach here at EliteAthletesTV.com. Today, I want to talk to you about pass protection. We've gone over route trees, we've gone over concepts in the passing game, we've gone over looks on film and coverages, but as a quarterback, understanding how to protect yourself is super important. And so really getting a sense of pass protection, what that means, and how to use it. First, if you love football, if you love the quarterback position, if you love talking concepts or understanding the game, if you're a fan that just wants to know how everything works on the X's and O's scale, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you ring that bell, get notified every time we have new videos coming out. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to understand pass protection. And leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's video, or tell me what kind of pass protection your team runs, and let's talk about it, make a video on it. Also, please share this video out. Help this channel, help more young quarterbacks across the country by sharing it out with teammates, family, friends, coaches, everybody you know. Let's get it out there so we can help more young football players understand the game. Now, let's talk pass pro. Quarterbacks need to understand the concepts of pass protection. Just being a great athlete or just being a great thrower isn't enough at the position. In a couple minutes, I'm going to show you on paper, conceptually, pass protection, what it means, how you block up different fronts. But first, let's talk about what you're trying to do with overall pass protection as a quarterback. Everything in football, whether it's blocking on the offensive line for pass protection, whether it's in the run game, whether it's in the passing game, is all about numbers and leverage. Do you have a numbers advantage? That's why when you hear people talking about a 5-man box, 6-man box, 7-man box, meaning that 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage and tackle-to-tackle box, you hear them talking about, do you have the numbers inside the box? In coverage, when you're running 2-on-1 reads, 3-level floods, high-lows, inside-outs, all of that is, do I have numbers, 2 guys against 1 or 3 guys against 2, and do I have leverage, angles at which you can complete passes? So from the beginning point, when people talk about chess and football and all of the different strategies, it's entirely about numbers and leverage. And then the final addition, the chemistry of the game, is the toughness, the physicality to make those numbers and leverage work for you. When you're thinking about pass pro, you want to have the advantage in numbers, or at least a matchup with the numbers of guys to block for you that you have rushing. Now, if you can make pass protection more than a one-on-one game, meaning every offensive player is eaten up by a defensive player, if you can get 2-on-1s in some places, if you can get a chip here or there, that's going to help you out too, because you would love to have the numbers advantage to get better blocking for yourself. The main concept, first concept in pass pro is protect. Have as many or more guys than they're bringing. And even if you have to get to max protection to do that, you're going to protect the quarterback first. That's one train of thought. Protect, protect, protect. Make sure you have everybody picked up, and so the quarterback can just work downfield. Oftentimes, that takes guys out of routes, puts backs in on blocking, keeps tight ends in to block as well. And so it diminishes the number of receivers that you can have in your route. The other train of thought, which is more of a West Coast style thought process for pass protection, is get the backs into the route. Get them out, make sure that they're part of the route process, make sure they're part of the read and part of the concept. And so those are two different and competing thoughts on pass protection. Now, you can use both on the same team. I'm going to show you stuff from my NFL playbook coming up here shortly from Sam Weich and the West Coast offense, where you can actually use both styles. Today, we're going to talk about what people call the half slide. Some people have described it as a man versus zone blocking scheme. It's really not. It's all about numbers. It's all about getting the right matchups with people that you want. And it's figuring out how to pick up numbers up front with your numbers of big guys and backs. So as I show you this half slide, I want you to, if you haven't heard it before, hear this concept. It's called 4-week. You hear coaches talking about 4-week all the time. It's the dreaded 4-week. And it can be a problem for half slide protections or for slide protections in general. And we'll talk about why when we get to the breakdown, and I'll show you how to handle 4 week if you have a slide protection trying to get the backs out and trying to work in this protection. So again, 4 week is dreaded by coaches. It's not really that big of a problem if you just think about the entire process. Now, let's go to my NFL playbook and let's talk about this half slide protection. So here's a look at my 1992 Tampa Bay Buccaneers playbook. And when I talked about half slide protections, we called them 60 and 61. What that denoted to us is direction of the slide and direction of the back. Even numbers, we had the fullback blocking right, line sliding left. Now, I call this a half slide. Well, why did I call it a half slide? As you can see here on the front side, and this is versus a standard odd front, your tackle and your guard to the side of the call, so 60, right side even, this right side, are going to stay home and block their side. And then we're going to take the next 3 and we're going to block for 3. This is one of those fronts where we are declaring for Mike. We're going to call out who Mike is. You can see he's got the little octagon around him. Fullback's got the little octagon. And so anybody with an octagon around him is who the fullback's picking up. But we're going to call Mike. Say Mike's 55 here. We're going to say 55, 55's Mike. And let everybody know that the back is going to pick up number 1 to number 2 linebackers on the side of the call. So for 60, he's blocking right. He's got a double read from Mike to Sam. And the offensive line is picking up defensive end. Now, in this case, because they're in a standard 3-4 set up front here, nose is over the center. You're going to end up bringing this guard with you. So I talked about it being 3-on-3 before. It's really these 4 guys are picking up these 4 right here. They're going to try to do it by having the guard get underneath, almost like a scoop, pick up the nose. Center is going to help on the nose while he looks for the peg linebacker in this case. Guard is going to work to the end. Tackle is going to help on the end and look to see if the will linebacker comes. And so it's really that simple. As a quarterback, if your Mike linebacker comes, your fullback picks him up. If Mike stays home and your Sam linebacker comes, fullback on his double read should pick that up. Now, if they both come, he's going to block inside out. He's going to take that Mike linebacker first. So the Sam linebacker's coming free. This Q meant quick in Sam's offense, but for most people, they would know it as a hot throw. And so the Q here, if both Mike and Sam come, tight end release, throw your Q or hot, and you are good to go. So that's the basics. Now let's take a look at a couple of different fronts, and we'll also talk about that 4 week that I talked about. Now we get that 35 front or weak reduction. End will both reduce down. Now, because this is the center and nose is shaded strong, you are still okay on this front to run 60. So once again, back's got 1-2 on his read. Tackle is taking the end. Guard is stepping over to take the nose, and it leaves these 3 to sort out those 3 on the back side. Same idea on the Q or hot. If 1 comes, you're fine. If 2 comes, you're hot to the tight end in this case. So now let's look down below and see what happens if that nose moves from a strong shade to a weak shade. Now you end up with 1, 2, 3, 4 weak, because the tight end's on the right side of the formation. This side is the weak side of formation. So you end up with 4 weak. Well, I told you 4 weak is the dreaded defense that you can't face, that you can't pick up. So if they were to bring all 4 guys pressuring on the weak side and we were running 60 with back going away, you couldn't get everybody over there to pick that up. And so what you are trying to do, because you'd have to give a whole overslide with guards, centers, tackles, everybody would have to come across to slide to that. So as a quarterback, if you see that 4-week, potential for 4-week, in this case, we are going to change the protection and just switch sides with it. So instead of running 60, we're now going to run 61. We're going to declare 61. Peg, in this case, we're going to be calling out is the mic. And so the line is going to count next outside linebacker out. They're going to start by picking up on the mic on this side and Sam and include him in their count. So tackle is going to kick to the Sam. Guard is going to work to Mike, but put a hand on this end here. Center is going to work back, help with the guard. Guard is going to help back, work with that nose with the center. And they're going to take these four guys and block those four guys. Got a little messy. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys are going to block 1, 2, 3, 4 guys. And all we had to do was check opposite, check 61. And now we know we've got it picked up. Peg, Will are the reads for the back. And if only one of them comes, back picks him up. If neither one of them comes, we get him out in the route. What this does for the back, though, is if we call 60 out of the huddle, his check down, if he gets out, would be somewhere over here. However, if we switch, we still have the route combination on to the outside that we're going to use before. So now back has to check and then get back over to where he would normally be part of that route combination so he can work in the concept that we're working wherever that is. One more look. We come down, you see 36. Now you have Peg straight up over the ball, nose over shifted, end on top, and the Will on this side. So potential once again for 4-week. If we call 60, all we have to do, check opposite, right? Go 61, bring the fullback over to check 1 to 2, pick up the end, stay on the outside. Guard stays with the nose, center puts a hand on him, helps backside. End, Mike, Sam, all picked up by these 3 dudes right here. So again, pass protection in a nutshell. Do we have the numbers to pick up everybody they're bringing? And if we have the numbers, do we have the leverage? That's why 4-week becomes such a problem, because if we try to stay in 60 here, bring the back Mike to Sam, and Peg comes, now you've only got 2 to pick up 3 guys on the backside. And so that's why that 4-week is such an issue in terms of this protection. Now let's take a look at it against a couple of even fronts, and you're going to see it's the same exact thing with a couple of different calls that go with it. So even up front, up top here, you can see you've got the solo tackle on end, guard on tackle. This is why people think it's a man zone call sometimes. And you have your center, your guard, and your tackle working back to pick up those 3. You can see down here a left hard call. And what that means is the center is going to have to come over to get this tackle. Everybody's going to block over a man to pick it up. So left hard means they're bringing everybody this direction to be able to pick all this up. But as a quarterback, I know I'm protected. I'm hot off of 1 and 2. With a strong safety down low, it's likely you're going to get that Sam rushing. And so your back is likely to end up in protection here. When I talk about numbers, I know that I have 5 up front, 1 running back. So 5 plus 1 equals 6. So I can pick up 6. If they bring 4 and Will, I know I'm good because that's only 5. If they bring 4, Will, and Mike, I know I'm still good because that's only 6. But now, since we're blocking back to pick up Will, we've got tackle and tackle picked up. Tackle's picked up here, end is picked up there. If they bring Mike, that's still 6. I'm still good. Fullback picks him up. But now if they bring Sam, they've got 7. Minus my 6 guys, they are plus 1 up front on their rush, and I have to throw the ball. Displace the rusher with the football and throw my hot. So week to week in your game plan, you'll understand what fronts you're going to face, what type of teams. Are they an even front? Are they an odd front? Are they a pressure team, not pressure team? And you'll know what fronts and what looks your half slide can work against. Remember, the dreaded 4 week is only a problem if you don't know how to adjust for it. As I showed you, you could always just switch your protection, check opposite, work the opposite way, and make sure you're picked up. Or you can even check to a full slide or a max protection if you have that in your system. As a QB, understanding pass protections, how to protect yourself, and how to get guys out into the route so you can work your concepts, super, super important. If you love talking football, subscribe, ring that bell. That way you get notified when we have new videos coming up. Appreciate you watching. If you understand pass protection, give me a thumbs up if it makes more sense to you now. Remember, it's just numbers and leverage. That's all it's about. Everywhere in football, that's what you have to be thinking about. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if I missed something for you, if I can help you out. I would be happy to help you. And please share this video out with your friends, teammates, coaches. Help them understand pass protection and make them better players. Our goal at Elite Athletes TV is to help as many young athletes as we can. We want to add value to their athletic careers. I appreciate you watching. That is Pass Protection 101, a little bit of quarterback training, improve your football skills and football knowledge, and I'll talk to you again soon.